experienced it too, but they were good enough to give me at the memorial this information on some of the burials. They're in the process of working up a tour that they hope to have available at some point, which I think would be nice. But this is the number one stop on the sheet here. The Von Ruck Mausoleum. The mausoleum holds Carl and Silvio Von Ruck. They were portrayed as Mr. and Mrs. Franz Wilhelm Von Ruck in Look Homeward Angel. Von Ruck was a pioneer in tuberculosis treatment in Asheville during the time of Asheville's fame as a health resort. He opened the Duena Sanitarium, the first tuberculosis treatment center in Asheville. Silvio Von Ruck was characterized somewhat comically in the following passage from Look Homeward Angel. Patroness of all the arts, but particular sponsor for music, heavenly maid, Mrs. Franz Wilhelm von Zech, wife of the noted lung specialist, came imperially from the doors of the Fashion Mart and was handed tenderly into the receiving cushions of her Cadillac by Mr. Louis Rosowski. Frau Von Ruck settled her powerful chins upon the coarse shelving of her Wagnerian breasts and her ponderous gaze, already dreaming on remote.
Okay, define that word that you just said about her
the
breast.
The part about the breast part. Can you?
One
He stumbled. He stumbled. He had.
W-A-G-E.
All right.
W-A-G.
That was the only part Bill was listening to. He suddenly perked up over there. Maybe he was our first communist. And,
okay.
we'll be the only ones to get that. Okay. Now we're going to Thomas Wolfe's side, I guess. It's really beautiful. And where is the river exactly? I drove around the outskirts, couldn't see the river last time I was here.
It's down the bottom of the hill.
Oh, it is?
Down there across Riverside Drive.
And is that the French Broad River?
French Broad River,
okay. Well, Alabama, where my mother is from.
No, South Carolina.
Okay. This is the county seat of my county. So is Abbeville, South Carolina near Charleston?
No, I wish it was. It's not near anything.
So you just did something there. You just, oh my goodness. I guess you saw Bill walk over Thomas's grave, didn't you?
Yeah, the wolf plot. Here, all of the characters in Look Homeward Angel, family characters, are buried here, with the exception of, well, I'll just read what this says to you. Okay. Wolfe and Westall graves. All Wolfe family members, with the exception of Effie, are buried here in the family plot. Behind the larger stones of Tom, W.O. and Julia, Mabel and Ralph, and Fred and Mary are the smaller stones of Ben, Grover, Leslie, and Cynthia Hill, W.O.'s second wife. The plot was purchased by W.O. at the time that Ben died, and Cynthia, Leslie, and Grover were moved here from their plots at the old Newton Academy Cemetery. The story told about moving Cynthia's coffin says that the lid was opened during the move, and observers, including Julia Wolfe, saw that the coffin was full of red hair. W.O. did not carve any of the large tombstones for his family, but it is believed that he may have carved the smaller ones. The Westalls, Julia's side of the family, are buried in several family plots around Riverside, including the two next to the Wolfes and across the path. Thomas Casey Westall, whose grave is next to Tom's, was Julia's father.
Now where is that one? Okay. But this is Tom's, so where would that one be then? If it's not this one, is it?
I'm sorry,
which one did you say is next to Tom's? You read the last sentence you read.
Thomas Casey Westall.
But where is that one? I'm just curious.
Right here.
Oh, is it on the behind it then?
No, it's probably misleading in this text. It's this plot right here.
Oh, wow, okay.
This is Thomas Casey Westall, Tom's maternal grandfather.
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
This is the man for whom he is named.
One.
Thomas Casey Westall. That's where they get Thomas for the Thomas Wolfe.
Was he moved here from somewhere else? He wasn't from Asheville, was he?
He was from this area. They were from, they lived in Swannanoa.
Oh, really?
But this will give more background on it, because Locke Craig, a native of Asheville and governor of North Carolina from 1913 to 1917, Locke Craig was portrayed as Preston Carr in Look Homeward Angel, as well as in a satirical scene from Welcome to Our City. In this passage from Look Homeward Angel, W.O. Gant writes a letter about what his son Eugene's teacher has to say about Eugene. Quote, he says his equal is not to be found anywhere. Everyone in town has heard of him. Preston Carr, who's sure to be the next governor, was talking to me about him the other day. He wants me to send him to the State University Law School, where he will make lifelong friends among the people of his own state, and then put him into politics. It's what I should have done. I'm going to give him a good education. The rest is up to him.
That's an unusual
That's all.
name, Locke Craig. I love looking at other names. There's Shaver behind. Over to the left, Starbuck. Check that out. I want to add an S to that and set up an espresso machine.
Yeah.
And then we could have our next meetup out here. Wouldn't that be nice? We could have.
Was this his teacher? Is that what you were saying?
Ma'am? No, this is a governor of North Carolina, Locke Craig. It doesn't mention it in this text. I think this is mostly aimed at what's relevant to Thomas Wolfe and the Wolfe story. But I do know that Locke Craig was very influential in getting a lot of the national park preservation that's seen today in North Carolina, like the West, I don't know about the Smoky Mountains, that's a national thing, but you know.
He was the man who built the old Kentucky home, the boarding house belonging to the Wolfe family, the memorial where you go now to see the memorial downtown Asheville. Mr. Sluter. That is
He was a doctor here in Asheville. When he came to town, he started that campaign that had the slogan, "Swat that fly." When he first came to town, there were a lot of flies in Asheville, and he noticed that as being kind of unsanitary and a health issue.
Wow.
So he started a campaign, "Swat that fly," to get everybody to start killing all the flies they saw, and even among the school children, and it was effective. The sickness frequency declined after that campaign started. Lewis Morse McCormick, as I was telling them, a doctor here in Asheville, he is the man for whom McCormick Field is named.
But is this the Swat That Fly person you were just talking about? And McCormick Field was named.
And
Why would
McCormick
McCormick Field be named after him, though? What's the baseball significance?
I don't know the connection other than that. Just know
Could that be his family's land over there, possibly?
It may have been. I don't know what to tell you about that.
Okay.
Look at
Let me see
these
if he's-
little tiny ones, just a
We
brick.
could be foraging. We could combine this with a foraging mushroom
Ew.
outing. We'll talk with Laura about that.
That's so scary.
That's really eco-friendly. And have a mushroom pizza later.
No, thanks.
Sounds good.
I was afraid I'd get a toxic one and die of liver failure.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen, Ann.
I was the original guy that commissioned the building of the house and would have lived there initially, and then sold it by the end of the decade to
Irwin Sluter.
Irwin Sluter.
This is better, I think, for me.
The graves of Margaret and John Roberts, portrayed as Margaret and Robert Leonard in Look Homeward Angel. The Roberts ran the North State Fitting School, which Tom attended as a child. Tom autographed a copy of Look Homeward Angel to Margaret Roberts, saying that she was the mother of my spirit. In a letter to Margaret, Wolfe wrote, "I was strangling, without speech, without articulation, in my own secretion, groping like a blind sea thing with no eyes and 1,000 feelers toward light, toward life, toward beauty and order. Out of that hell of chaos, greed and cheap ugliness, and then I found you, when else I should have died. You mother of my spirit who fed me with light. Do you think I have forgotten you? Do you think I ever will? You are entombed in my flesh. You are in the pulses of my blood. The thought of you makes a great music in me. And before I come to death, I shall use the last thrust of my talent, whatever it is, to put your beauty into words." Margaret Rose Roberts, daughter of Margaret and John, was portrayed as the Leonard's little daughter, and Hortense Pattison was portrayed as Sister Sheba.
But she was Thomas's favorite teacher, correct?
Yes.
And what grade would she have taught him?
From say an elementary school up through high school.
Oh, really? Okay. So it reads, she remained, a quote, she remained who first had touched his blinded eyes with light. Thomas Wolfe, I guess that's from Look Homeward Angel?
From Look Homeward Angel, yes. She was a big inspiration of his. She encouraged him and introduced him to, literature and the learning that he
She would be like my Zona Gale Baxter from high school.